I turned back around and bumped the leg, and it came down and just smacked me on the side of the head, and it just about knocked me out. It hit me on the side of the head. Welcome to the channel. I'm Mike. That's the MB. Scout's still outside, kind of being neglected. I do have a couple of upcoming trips planned for the Scout. It's July. We're going to be doing trips in July, so kind of watch out for those. They'll be around. Anyways, today we are working on the Kubota swap again, and you can see I got the straps hooked up. What we're going to do today is take this big old hog of an oil pan off and put our other oil pan on. The problem with this oil pan is, for one, I need to clean it up. And then paint it. But you can see, maybe, let me see if you can get in here. You can see, so the oil pickup right here bolts to the bottom side of the engine, which is about where this mounting surface is. And so this pickup actually only sits about a 1/16 of an inch or an 1/8 of an inch off the bottom of the oil pan. So what I'm going to do is find out where this lands, and then I think I'm just going to cut kind of a big area out of this. Cut like a big area out of this and make a little sump. So angle a piece down and bend it and have it go flat, and then weld it in, just to give me maybe another quart of oil to fit in here, but also to give just a little bit of space for this sump. I don't know where this sits in here. I imagine it sits about right here, kind of where that dark spot is. I think that's probably about where it is. And if it's on the side like that, that'd be awesome. But we'll kind of see where it goes. But let's get this going. Real quick story time though. So you just saw me lowering the legs on the engine hoist. I don't know if you guys have ever done this. I don't know if you guys have used an engine hoist, but a while back, so story time, quick story time. A while back, I had pulled the pin on, there's pins that hold the legs up, right? So I pulled the pin, pulled the cotter pin, pulled the main pin out. Then I kind of got sidetracked for 1 second. I was like, oh, I should go do this. So I went to go do something else, and I turned back around and bumped the leg, and it came down and just smacked me on the side of the head, and it just about knocked me out. It hit me on the side of the head, and it went down, fell on the ground, and it was one of those times where, like, everything started to go black. Like, I could just see everything, just tunnel vision going black. So I just hurried and sat down and then kind of laid down on the floor. I don't think I blacked out. Obviously I wouldn't remember if I blacked out, but I don't think I blacked out. I just like laid there for a sec, and my tunnel vision went like very, very pinpoint, and then came back. I was like, oh man. So I just laid there and was like, I'm probably done working on stuff for the day. So I put the pin in, pushed the engine hoist out of the way, and was done for the day. But since then, I am way more careful. If I pull the pin, I lower the leg right then and put the pin back in. I don't ever pull the pin and do something else. I mean, you know, you do something screwy one time and you learn real quick. So anyways, let's get back to hoisting the engine and doing that. Man, I wish I could use this this oil pan, because that's like 2 gallons of oil that just came out of there. That's awesome. But it's just too big. So you can see there are all these little bolts around the perimeter. So I gotta take all these off and then drop this pan, and then there'll be bolts kind of in the center here holding this pan to the block. So we're gonna do that. Through, got the bottom pan off. I got a majority of the bolts taken out for the big pan here. I want to try and save this because I think somebody will want this. Ah, yeah. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. There we go. It came off. Just a couple of smacks with the hammer right here. So, got the oil pan off. Awesome. Oil pan is off. That is how many bolts are holding this oil pan on, which is the most bolts I've ever had holding an oil pan on, which is awesome and ridiculous at the same time. So now let's figure out our other oil pan. All right, you can see this this oil pan, for one, it's smooth with the side of the engine. It's a lot more shallow. It's not going to hold as much, but that's okay. I know it won't. But now we need to find out where the oil pickup is. And adjust for it. And I'm just going to eyeball it because it's not a crucial measurement, right? It just needs to be close. Like right now it's not hitting on here. The pickup tube is not hitting the oil pan. It's just really close. So I think that's about where it sits, where I marked. And so I think I might go about a ½ inch further forward, maybe a little bit back, and slope this down maybe a ½ inch or so, maybe a little bit more than that, maybe a little bit more than a ½ inch. Slope this down and then put a little bit more of a slope right here. Or maybe I'll come off the front and come down about a ½ inch and then come back to here and then angle it up. Let's make some cardboard templates and see what we can do. This is where we're at. We got our oil pan, and it's not standing up on its own. It's not thick enough. Okay. I'm going to use some tape first just to kind of show you guys my thoughts on this. Because I don't want to go too far down. I don't want to make this too deep. But what I'm thinking is from the front, have it kind of a, so this is where the pickup tube's going to be, roughly. So that needs to be the deepest spot. The bottom of the pan is right there. So I want to go, that's a half, that's 3/4. Maybe where the pan, where the pickup actually is, the pickup is actually about right here. The pickup, yeah, so the pickup is right there. That's where the oil pickup actually sits, is right in between these ones, like that. So I think maybe where the oil pickup is, I want it maybe the deepest, so we'll go like 3/4 of an inch. So let's go, that's 3/4, that's 3/4. So right here will be the deepest, and then I need a straight edge. Now we could go from the edge down here like that. Give us a little bit of a slope, and then that, and then maybe we could, how many inches is that? That's 2 inches. And then go from there to there like that. And that'll give us a little bit of a sump or area where the pickup's going to be. Because right now, again, this is the bottom of the pan right here. That's the bottom of the pan, and right now the pickup sits right at the bottom of the pan, about a 1/16 higher. So that'll give us 3/4 of an inch below this, so that it's not picking up all the crud. That's what I don't want. If there's any dirt or debris or sludge, or I mean metal shavings, I mean hopefully there's not metal shavings, but if there's any sort of gunk or debris or anything that gets in the oil, hopefully not, but if there is, this isn't picking that up. So I think that's, all right. I got it bent the best I could on the press, and let's double check just to make sure our template lines up. So the tip of that is right there, which is pretty good. And then the tip of the front is right there. So actually we are spot on. We are spot on. That is perfect, actually. That is perfect. So now, I don't think this piece is gonna fit in here because we've bent it down. Yeah, that's way too small now. We need, and that's like 1/2 inch. But I mean, you can see how thick this is. So I am definitely gonna save this piece of steel. And we will probably cut so I'm going to clean these edges up on all sides here. I'm going to add this piece to the bottom, clean everything up, and then we're going to test fit it actually to make sure that the sump sits where we want. So let's get that done. So that is where it is now. So you can see the sump right there, almost even with the bottom of the pan. I mean, that's the sump where my finger is. And that's even with the bottom of the pan. So I think we're good. I think if we add a piece of metal right here and then a piece right there and a piece on that other side, we should be good. So let's do it. So I got a piece of 1/4 inch cut, and it fits just about perfect. Actually, it goes this way. It fits just about perfect in there. So I'm gonna get some clamps and we'll clamp it in and then weld it in. So my battery died while I was welding, and I don't know, do you guys ever get in the zone where, I don't know if you guys are filming or whatever, and you just get going through stuff? So I got this all welded up, got the pieces welded in. I'm gonna grind it down so it's smooth. My welds definitely don't look great. And then I'm actually going to put a couple of welds on the inside. And then you can see there's no drain plug anywhere. So I have a drain plug, a weld-in drain plug, and we're going to weld that in too. So I'm going to go to town on grinding this so that it just looks better, right? And I'm going to weld the inside, then I'm going to do the drain plug. So let's get cracking. So it looks good. Doesn't look like there's any holes in it. We're going to, so this will be the front of the engine, like this. So the front of the engine, the back of the engine. But I want the drain plug on the driver's side, just like it was on the flathead. So I'm gonna move over here to the workbench and we'll probably put it right here. I'm probably not gonna be able to drill completely through this because it is welded and now it's like hardened steel, you know, it's gonna be really hard. So I'll probably drill as big as I can get, a 1/2 inch hole or so, and then just ream it out with like my carbide bit or something until that fits. So I kind of want to put it right down here, so we'll see. This is what the oil drain plug looks like. And I already took it apart. It's got a little crush washer in here. So we're gonna put this to the side. Don't need that, but I kind of want to put this down in the corner here. And I gotta remember, this is a 1/4 inch steel plate, so I need to go above that. So I think we're gonna need to go, about right there. I think that's what we're gonna go with. So I'm gonna try and drill as close to the center of this as I can, and then we'll go from there. I was able to like step up through the bits, and then eventually get to the bigger bits, but ripped another glove. But that fits in there nice and tight. Just have to tap it in a little bit. And it's probably about an 1/8 inch off the bottom of the oil pan, because the bottom of the oil pan is actually about where that little goofy weld spot is right there. That's the bottom of the oil pan. So I won't be able to drain every bit of oil, but it'll be good enough. And you guys can complain all you want. If you want to do it different, go for it. So now I'm going to thread this in, and we're going to weld this up. I think the paint's dried enough for what we're doing. So let's see if I can pop this off as cleanly as possible, so I don't have to do very much cleanup. Get you down here a little bit. There we go. There we go. And I was only able to get 4 bolts for that, so whatever. And then we got our Kubota oil pan gasket. All right, and this should be symmetrical. Oh, it's got a spot for a dipstick, but I don't have to worry about that because the dipstick goes into the center here. So let's get this put in as best we can, right? What we can do. I'm using some of these longer bolts to kind of help hold it in just until I can. All right, so that was a long one. The oil pan is held on by 24 10mm bolts. And I only had 4 that were the right length. So the other oil pan was held on by these ones and these ones. Obviously, these are not going to fit. These go way too high up into the block. I think these are 40mm, and these ones that I put in are 20, so half the length. So I got some more coming. I'll just throw those in when I get it. But the oil pan's done. I think for the most part, everything on the engine is done, except for I need to change the crank pulley. Oh, I need to change the crank pulley, but I'm going to do that once I get it in, and I can use the transmission and engine and stuff kind of as a weight to bust that nut loose and be able to swap that out. So I'll do that, but I think the next step really is to bolt the flywheel on, bolt the clutch up, mate the transmission to it, and drop it in and just see how it fits. I got everything else tightened up. So yeah, possibly the next video will be us putting these together and putting it in. So stick around. If you got any questions about anything that I've done to the Kubota so far, leave them in the comments and let me know. But thanks for watching.